Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth and I'm back doing a very special sample tarot reading for you guys, especially for those of you who are new to my channel and for those of you who live in a country that YouTube doesn't offer my rental horoscopes to. So I wanted to just do a quick sample reading for everyone. This is for all signs and this is for an unspecified date in the future. So you could be watching this 3 years from now and it may apply just as much as if you were watching it like tomorrow or something. I do want to remind everyone that I do take a lot of artistic creative license with my decks. I am using my regular Shadowscapes deck, which I pretty much use. It's by Stephanie Puimun Law. I do have a creative approach to the tarot, so I'm not a traditional tarot reader. I look at the cards differently, and yeah, I think of the cards differently than other people do. So I am pretty much ready to go. If you'd like to support my channel, the links to my GoFundMe campaign as well as Patreon are down below. If you'd like to have a private reading, I am still doing my summer sale. My summer sale goes until July 31st, the end of this month. I am recording this in July of 2017, just for the record. And let's just see what we get for you guys. I'm just about to roll out a spread here. I'm gonna close my window here. It gets too loud, I think, when I'm recording. Okay, and let's see what we get for you guys. So a lot of female cards are showing up. That's the first thing that I'm noticing. I just want to say that. So I know that, by the YouTube statistics, I think, the majority of the, viewers that I have in my channel are female, but this could also just be you being very social also. Doing a lot with friends, family. I just feel like there's a lot of ladies. And if you're a guy, high five to those guys who are watching. You're doing pretty well with the ladies if you are dating multiple people and if you're single. And if you're trying to get into a relationship, I see no reason why, if you're a guy, that you're going to have any problem. I don't see that. Okay, so there's a lot of ladies showing up here, guys, just so you know. I have also tried to record this video several times, and the consistent theme that I've seen pretty much across the board is this element of the tower. And you guys got the tower in the foundation of the spread. And the tower to me indicates something unexpected or a divorce or a breakup. Because it's the foundation, I always call this, the card in this position is about, I always say it's like the balls flapping in the wind, okay? Where you may have there's this element of insecurity, or you may feel insecure about something, okay? And it's coloring the rest of the reading. So you may feel insecure about jobs. Some of you may not have a job, or you may be, insecure about the job that you do have. You're not sure where it's going. Some of you are, maybe going through a divorce and it's creating instability in your life. You don't know, what you maybe used to have 2 incomes and now you're not sure, you only have 1 and you're not sure what's going to happen there. This also indicates a pattern of arguing with a partner, basically of rehashing the same stuff over and over again. So if you've always fought with a partner about the same thing, this is showing up here, okay? I would tell you that you're not really getting anywhere if that's the case. I also feel like, as far as the security thing, people usually feel secure when they have some element of income or they're in a relationship of some kind that's stable. So this to me creates instability in the cards, in the reading. And it may, be reflecting instability in your life in some way, those of you who are watching. Some sort of insecurity and instability. There is an element also too of someone who's watching, I feel like it's a female, who's wanting to get into a relationship, but for the wrong reasons, wanting security rather than love. So if you get into a relationship for security reasons, or if you're staying in a relationship for security reasons, usually it's a negative outcome. Well, it's 100% negative outcome. I very rarely meet people who are staying for the wrong reasons and are happy, because usually someone calls it. Someone's like, you know, it breeds distrust. And what happens when distrust is prevalent in a relationship? Well, then cheating happens. And once cheating happens, then it creates these emotional cavernous holes in a relationship, which then lead to a very messy breakup or a very messy divorce and a lot of unhappiness, struggle, and strife and suffering. And trust me, you don't want that. So that's what I'm seeing here. Some of you, that's what you're experiencing. Some of you, that's what your experience was. Okay. Some of you may have been divorced. Maybe you were divorced in the past. The other energy that I've been picking up really strongly too is about someone who's been married before, or someone who's had a long-term partner before and they want another long-term partner. They're looking for another long-term partner. And ladies, this is what I want to tell you. If I meet someone who has been married before for 20 years or more, okay, they usually need, the universe is sort of like a requirement for them to experience shorter term relationships. I usually do not see people that have been in long-term 20-year relationships get into another 20 or 30-year relationship. I just don't see it. Very rarely, on very rare occasions, it does happen. Obviously, it's a possibility. I'm not saying you're doomed to be in short-term relationships for the rest of your life, but specifically people that I see who have had longer-term relationships, usually it just doesn't happen. That's what I've seen. That's the result of them being in a long-term relationship. So I'm just putting it out there and saying, ladies, if you've been, specifically women who have been married for long chunks of time, and you're looking for a soulmate or you're looking for another long-term relationship, I feel like you need to make more of an effort than just say someone who's dated, here, there, and everywhere. You need to make more of an effort if you're looking for another long-term partner, okay? And the same thing with guys. If you've been married before, you need to make, and maybe divorced, you need to make more of an effort to put yourself out there and if you're looking for a longer term relationship, another long-term relationship, you need to, put yourself out there, make an effort to meet new people and go out. I do feel that some of you are still in an unhealthy relationship. I do feel that, okay? And I also feel like some of you guys feel stuck in a partnership because you can't leave for whatever reason. I feel that. I felt that before and I feel that again. So some of you males who are watching, you may have a partner. It may not even be a marriage partner, but for some of you, it is a marriage partner and there's problems. I feel like for some of you, there's major problems within a relationship. And, it's on both, it's both male and females who are watching. I feel like the same issues within the relationship. Those of you who are married and have been married for a long time and things are going really well, I feel like those of you who are experiencing that, you are I want to say you were best friends with your partner, or you got married to your best friend, or they've grown into your best friend, and your partner is your best friend, and it's just a really healthy relationship. I feel like it is really polarized. I feel like I'm reading for people who are either experiencing some kind of breakup, or were divorced or had a marriage previously, or are in a relationship that's gone long term and it's like a best friend. It's like you're married to your best friend and you may have children. I definitely see people who have children together. And some of you singles, like let's just say you're really, really single, because you do have the Two of Cups in the position of emotions. You are wanting a relationship. You're ready emotionally for a relationship. You should continue to look. I feel like you are gonna get your wish as far as getting into a relationship, because you do have the wish card right next to it. So some of you are going to be getting into a new relationship. I'm not here to tell you when, because this is a sample tarot reading that's for everyone. So you would want to do a private reading or watch my my mid-month horoscopes, which I just recently completed, or my general horoscopes. I do also feel like there's an element of friendship too. those of you who are single, who are going to end up in a longer term relationship or end up in a relationship, I feel like you're most likely going to become friends first. That's what I want to say. Because you got the Strength card here too. And the Strength card is about friendship, okay? And some of you are tested. Some of you have been tested with other things that have gone on in your life. Maybe it's tested with a mountain of bills. Some of you it's tested with just certain experiences that you've had to endure. It's just, you've been either under stress or just tested. Because the Strength card can be a card about being tested from the universe. And I do see that. There was, and there has been in the other readings that I did, samples for, when I was trying to record, the element of movement. Some of you are planning on moving or traveling, and this could be traveling, just travel for some people, because you got both the Fool in the immediate future plus the moving card / travel card in the position of emotions later on. So some of you want to move or are moving. And some of you are traveling or will be traveling in the future. It's very strong. And it can be planes, trains, automobiles, driving, things like that. I definitely feel like there's some element of that happening too. There is also, going back to this Tower, the thing that's linking up the Tower is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords in my deck is what I call the Bloody Wanker card. For those of you who are new to my channel, I have a lot of names for these cards. But that's the Two of Swords, okay? And the Bloody Wanker card is someone who's, you're in disagreement with, you're in disharmony with. Someone who's either rejecting you or someone who you love more than, they love you back, okay? I do see it as being kind of a card about not being on the same page, the card about disagreements, irreconcilable differences. I feel like if you have had differences with a partner, I feel like it's going to lead to either a major argument or a divorce. If it hasn't, I feel like it's going to. And I definitely feel like later in time you're going to start fresh. I feel like emotionally, maybe you want a relationship, but it hasn't happened for whatever reason. I do feel like there aren't really too many blockages as far as you getting into a relationship. So I kind of want to see what the other cards have to say about this, of like why it hasn't happened for you. And some of you are going through a time of transition. You got the Queen of Cups. That's to me a time of transition, going through a time where maybe you're going from one thing to the next. Maybe it's one job to the next, or going from place to place. To me, it just feels like a time of transition. Okay, so one of the blockages is that you are over focused on achieving or attaining financial security. That's what I said earlier, and I'm going to stick with it because I got another card here about being overly focused on money, attaining some level of security, having kind of like a never enough belief system about work. Some of you are working like 60 plus hours, like you're working a zillion hours, or like 2 to 3 jobs. You're working multiple jobs, but for some reason it's not enough money. Some of you are experiencing delays, and the reason that there's a delay is because of fate. Hang on one second. There we go. So I was saying the reason there's this delay is because of fate, and it's kind of a numbers game. Some of you, it's going to be like 4 months before things start to kind of, there's more movement and things happen, pick up again, either in your love life or with business or with things going on for you, feeling like, things are going your way. Others, it's going to take longer. It could be a year or around 8 months to a year for some people. It's going to take longer. There's that delay. Delays can also happen because of free will. And I've talked about this, and I feel like I'm going to do, in the future, I should do anyways, another video about free will and how free will really affects everyone. So there's a lot of things happening all at once. There's astrological events that happen that can affect delays. When Mercury goes into retrograde, it definitely affects delays. People's free will affects it. And there's also karma here too. When you have karma and fate together, it's not really a good mix, because karma is like the universe is saying, hey, your soul made a contract with that dude, and that dude expects you to fulfill what you said you were going to do. Okay. And fate is like saying, you got to show up at this time. You're expected to show up at this time, at this place. And if it doesn't happen, everything goes to shit. The fate is like, we're expecting you to do this and follow through. And it has to do with time and timing, and time in the universe is really flexible, and time really sucks. Personally, that's my take on it. Time really sucks. And I do feel like I said the numbers game. Some of you, the number three is showing up very strongly for some of you. 3s and 5s for some people. You're resonating with those numbers. Everybody's going to be different, but that's the number that I'm seeing. A lot of you are have what I call whale syndrome. And a whale, this is going to sound very strange for those of you who are new to my channel. Whale syndrome is where you're absorbing too much negativity. You're absorbing for too much negativity. You're waiting to hear negativity. You're listening for it, and then you're pouncing or you're biting on it. So it's like the whale syndrome is like whales eat those tiny little things of krill, those tiny little krill. They kind of absorb, they just sort of absorb all these tiny little krill, and that's their food, like millions of krill every day. And it's sort of like, you're buying it, or you're kind of biting onto every little thing that's verbalized that's negative. So if someone says to you, I think you're ugly, you'll react full out, or you'll buy it. You'll actually buy it. You'll be like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I am. And you'll go cry about it. You'll be upset. So the thing is a lot of times whale syndrome happens because there's some kind of emotional damage. Either from childhood, or there's poor communicators. And a lot of times this has to do with energy, but I feel like a lot of times it's poor communication. I've seen it mostly with Pisces rising, Pisces moon, Pisces sun, and Leo. Sometimes Virgo also, but for the most part, it's Pisces rising, Pisces moon, Pisces sun, and Leo. That's who I've seen it the most with. I've also seen it with Scorpios too. Scorpio, some of you Scorpio Lammy Puffs out there. I feel like you're buying negativity from people. So it's like you're waiting to hear negative things and you're believing it. And the thing is you need to work on your self-esteem. Ultimately, whale syndrome is fixed by positive self-esteem, by positive self-image, by self-love, and better communication, working on communicating better, communicating to other people what your needs are, communicating to someone to say, hey, I need you to do this more often, working on the 5 love languages, things like that. I feel like some of you are watching for a guy who doesn't have any conscience, or you're dealing with a guy, or you will deal with a guy who doesn't have any conscience in the future. You need to watch out, because this is a person who will sleep with you and they just don't care. They just don't care. And some of you don't care either, too. Some of you females don't care, but I'm just seeing, that's what I'm seeing. For some of you, I see you having children first, then getting married. I also see unplanned pregnancy for someone who's watching. I also see some of you have experienced unplanned pregnancy in the past, and you could be like a single parent. This could be, what you experienced in the past. I do feel like going back, there is some cycle about fighting or arguing and then making up and apologizing afterwards. And some of you are really into into makeup sex, basically. And maybe that's all the sex that you're having, but it's not really healthy, because I don't see that you're I mean, I don't see the positive end here. I see the negative end, but I don't see the positive end as far as like healthy sex life. Like the healthy sex life card has not come up, which I encourage you to work on. Come on, guys. If everyone was doing it, everybody would be really happy and the world would be a completely different place. So everybody needs to get on that. That's your homework, okay, from this reading. I do feel like there's someone who is going to cheat with someone who's married, and or there's someone who's going to be cheating on their partner, spouse. I feel like if it hasn't happened yet, do not engage, which means do not get anyone's phone number that's not single. Do not, and then when you do find out that they're married, do not continue to text them or to call them. Let it go. It's very hard once you've engaged with someone who's married and there's flirting and it's already started to stop. And I feel like someone that's watching has had a difficult time stopping that kind of communication. It's like they got sucked into it and they can't really stop. I feel like someone is in like some kind of longer term affair, or they can't stop texting someone who's married because they're some way hoping that person's going to get out of that relationship or that person's going to become single. And I don't feel like that's going to happen. At least I don't see it in this reading. I definitely feel like there's someone who's going through a very messy divorce or is going to be going through a very messy divorce, and they're going to get taken to the cleaners. Like their partner or their spouse, and I feel like it's a female that's going to, like if you're married to a female, that's really going to take you to the cleaners. That's what I see. I'm seeing there's someone who's watching this very greedy greedy female. It could be a partner, it could be a girlfriend, it could be some of the females that are watching this. I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm just telling you this is what I see in the cards. For those of you ladies who are very financially focused, you need to work on valuing things that have no monetary value whatsoever. Whatever that is. It could be valuing a pet. It could be valuing an experience. Do things for the experience. It's so interesting because when I was younger, all I could think about was when can I go shopping? When can I go buy something? The thing that made me the happiest was when I had an opportunity to buy something. I really enjoyed retail therapy, and I'm not saying I don't enjoy it now. I mean, I definitely do. Even going to the grocery store, I enjoy it. But now it's so weird because I was thinking just yesterday, about how instead of that making me happy, what would make me happy now, I'm 35, is having a really great experience, having a really good time. Cherishing spending time with someone, doing something fun together. That is more valuable to me than just going shopping and blowing a bunch of cash. It's a completely different value system. So I feel like you're still in some kind of value system that puts money before experience or puts money before relationship, and it needs to change. And so ladies, if you are very focused on money or very motivated by money, I would encourage you to do things that challenge you personally, that challenge your inner voice. Maybe do some, creative writing, maybe take an art class, maybe do something that you've never done, maybe like one of those like paragliding experiences, or like a zip lining through the rainforest, or doing something that will challenge you either like physically or spiritually in some way, because that will build your character. And once you've built more character and your value system or your belief system changes, then you will stop attracting people who only see you as an object or who only value physical things or material things. Yeah, that's what I want to say. And those of you guys, I feel like those of you guys who maybe are in a relationship with someone like this, you're attracting that person because there's something in you that maybe you grew up without money. Maybe it's just your value system. You're putting money ahead of other things. And until that changes, you're going to continue to attract women or partners. It could be guy partners. You could be gay too. Partners that value material things more than they value love, or more than they value you, or maybe more than they value a good experience. So that's just what I want to say there. Some of you do really want to meet Mr. Right. There is a Mr. Right showing up. There's a Mr. Right card showing up here. I feel like it is definitely possible to be, you know, get into a new relationship. But I feel like there's something about too much fantasy in some way, wanting to live the fairy tale life or wanting to experience a fairy tale romance or a fairy tale wedding. When you putting out that vibe that's only about the fairy tale, then what happens is you, in some way, it's like devaluing it, because in some way it's not reality. And so there's nothing wrong with wanting a happily ever after or being with someone. But the reality is that we are all going to die someday. And that is sort of like, and we don't know when. So that is something that's a reality check. And so I am telling you this because at some point, if you are functioning from a reality, a place of reality in your mind, and not necessarily living in the fantasy or for the fantasy, then you will attract actually a person who's also in reality. And they will treat the relationship as if, and they will value it more because they know it isn't forever. That's the key. So something to think about there. There's some people that definitely have too much stress. There's way too much stress. You guys need to do some things that are stress relieving, you know. You need to get out in the sun. Some of you do need to get out in the sun. Spend some time out in the sun. Make sure to wear some sunscreen though. Do things that are relaxing. You know, maybe get a sleep machine or listen to some relaxing music or just do something that's going to relax you. I feel like there's some high stress people that are watching. A lot of the fire signs can be this place, in that place of stress. It's like just their energy is like constantly stressed. So if you have any planets in fire signs, I would encourage you to take more time to relax whenever you're going to be watching this. If that means take a 3-day weekend, take a 3-day weekend. If that means you take like an hour every day to relax before you go to bed and you just maybe read, you know, a cheesy romance novel or some kind of raunchy book, you know, I don't care if you watch a little porn. It doesn't matter. You need to relax. You need to find a way to relax. And there is an element of the unexpected here. There are things that are going to be happening for you that are not in your plans. Some of you have like a very strong agenda of how things are going to go, and I don't see them going the way you want them to go. Does that mean, you know, everything's terrible? No, it just means that once you kind of relax your agenda for yourself, then you're going to be more open to positive experiences that maybe you weren't expecting, that are actually, that will end up better than what you're expecting also. This came up before actually. There's going to be improvements in your finances. Those of you who are trying to get ahead, maybe trying to get a job, maybe you're trying to, you know, work on your business, whatever it is, there's going to be some improvements in your finances. I definitely see that. Definitely. And whatever, you know, you're succumbing to, as far as the devil card, the devil's come up twice now. Whether it's like an addiction, or whether it's feeling stuck, or whether it's that negative Nancy, that negativity, or absorbing the negativity, you need to work on it. You need to work on being more positive. You need to work on getting out of a situation in which is negative and it is draining you. And for some of you, there's strong cords of attachment that are draining you. Serious problems there. You got the Miss Lonely Heart card twice. You know, wanting a new relationship showing up. There's a lot of guys and or girls who are not really wanting to date you for the right reasons showing up. So you need to watch out for players, and you need to make sure you're changing up how you're meeting people, going back to what I said in the beginning. A lot of you need to watch what you're doing with your money. I feel like there's some element of loss here. I saw this before and I'm saying this again. There's some element of losing keys, losing a debit card, losing a purse. There's some element of loss. Some of you, this is the death in the family, or a death through a car accident, or this is having lost a lot in life. Some of you have lost a great deal. I also feel like some of you, this is financial loss because of getting laid off from work. I definitely feel like that's what I'm seeing. But I feel like overall, for the majority of you, it's not going to be that specific. It's just going to be where you've already experienced loss, and in some way, you're having a difficult time getting past it. So either you don't care that much anymore about your money, or you're not watching where it's going, or it's just like you kind of have like maybe a little bit of a what I would call like a fuck it attitude, where you're kind of like, well, I've already lost this already, so I'm not going to take any risks, or I'm just not going to be careful about money because obviously the universe has it out for me. That's the kind of thing that I'm seeing and I'm hearing. So it's kind of just like you need to actually turn it around. You need to say, you know what? Actually, I'm going to go out and find a great job. Or actually, you know what? I am capable of being successful. Or actually, you know what? I am abundant and I am capable of having abundance, and I will have abundance. You need to be determined to turn it around, turn the story around. Some of you have a story. Your story is very sad or very depressing or very heavy. You've gone through a lot in life, and some of you may not even be that old, but you need to turn it around. You need to stop with the story, because the story isn't helping you. The story, it's like whatever comes out of your mouth, whatever you're saying to people about your story is actually making it worse. It's continuing that thing. So it's like if you're always saying negative things, you'll only attract negative experiences. It's the same thing. Some of you are going to be welcoming a child soon after you watch this video. Could be, a month to a year, 9 months, around that time. I'm not putting out specific timelines, time frames. I'm just saying this is a possibility and potential for some of you to either get pregnant around the time that you're watching this, be pregnant around the time that you're watching this, or be, giving birth at that time, around that time that you're watching this. Some of you are trying to get pregnant. I definitely see some of you trying to get pregnant. And I definitely feel like some of you are going to be getting married to someone who already has kids. And there's some of you who are going to have overnight success where the wheel of fortune is going to be turning in your favor. That's going to happen at some point. It may happen in the near future or a little bit later down the line in time. I think that's where I want to leave it. Thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, Google Plusing. You guys are awesome. I appreciate, all your comments and likes and shares and all that stuff. If you'd like to get a private reading, definitely reach out to me. My email is elizabetholson31@gmail.com. But please check out my website. There's a really easy process to get scheduled, oracledaphne.com, and the link to that's below also. And I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. And I will talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. All the best. Bye.